let me speak about the project that the Financial Literacy Center has done. I have to say we have a very strong team of researchers, and I felt that perhaps my job was to choose all of these people so they could do the work, and I could just sit there and sleep. What our starting point was indeed, in a sense, to build on the many years of research that some of the researchers in our group have done on financial literacy. And I certainly would like to acknowledge, for example, the work that Olivia Mitchell has done, and she has been a really long-term collaborator, the work that the RAND people have done, and the work that other of the research groups that we have and have done in the field of financial literacy, in particular measuring kind of the level of financial knowledge in the population. The strategy we have followed in putting together our group is we don't have an existing institution, but we are pulling together 3 institutions which have a lot of expertise, for example, in pension. This is the Pension Research Council from the Wharton School. A lot of experience in data collection and measurement, for example, the RAND Center for Financial Decision Making, and Ari Kaptein has been a really leader in the field of econometrics and in measurement. And in program evaluations. And at Dartmouth, we bring a lot of teams as well with experience in marketing, in mathematics, and I'm going to explain in a moment one of the projects we have. And so our is a spirit of collaboration and bringing together different teams from different institutions to work together on this topic. We have also taken, I have to say, really a multidisciplinary approach. So in our year, the first year, we had psychologists in addition to economists. We have marketing people, and we have really enjoyed the collaboration with them. And we are extending this group. In year 2, we have a lot more people. We have sociologists, and we have even a linguist. And we are very excited in kind of hearing from really different perspectives and try to apply this different perspective to our programs. Just want to tell you that in all of the projects that you are going to see today, and all of the projects that we have done, they are really based on these few, what I call guiding principles. All of the work that we have done before really highlighted this important finding, which is that financial illiteracy is widespread. I think the novelty of the research that was done was not that financial literacy is low, but rather how low financial literacy really is, given that we have put people in charge of their financial well-being at and before retirement. So our project really tried to incorporate that fact, for example, in not assuming that people are knowledgeable about interest compounding or about basic concept, and on the one hand, try to teach this concept in new ways, or try to communicate in ways that doesn't count on people really being financially sophisticated. Another feature that guides our research, and is very much taken also from previous research, is that people are very different. Even when you look at people within the same education group or income group, there are very, very large differences. And that's why it's so important to target group. It's so important to customize programs. And this is what we are trying to do in the programs that we are presenting in this day and a half. And third, related actually to the first two, we feel that in addition to providing information, it's really important to provide clear directions, or for example, implementations guide. And that's why what you'll see again, programs are using this strategy, which I think is very popular, for example, in some of the programs we see in the private sector, of this step-by-step approach. On the one hand, simplification is very important, and on the other, I think just providing a guide for implementation is also crucial. And finally, even though this is for us a critical part of all what we do, we believe that evaluation is essential, and evaluation has been built in the design of any program that we have done. In fact, I'm probably going to speak in the next few slides only about evaluation until you are probably tired of hearing the word evaluation. But I think we should focus on evaluation incredibly, because I think the only thing that is going to make financial education important is to show what works. And in my view, this is the critical question: what works? And that's also why we're here today, perhaps to try to assess if there are really programs that are successful and that where we can devote our attention and more resources. So what have we done? We certainly have taken into consideration the important role that Social Security plays in promoting financial literacy and in informing people. As Alicia has mentioned earlier, Social Security is a very trusted institution, and also it reaches such a large number of people. So we have worked on several projects, on the one hand in communicating information to the public, in trying to provide information in a way that is effective, and also try to understand how much people know and understand about their Social Security. So you'll hear really several sessions throughout the conference from focus groups on what people think about Social Security. I hope some of the Social Security people come to this session, because it's very interesting to know what people know or do not know about their Social Security benefit. But also, I think given the power that Social Security has in reaching so many people, I think it's such a good opportunity and such an important project to be able to see and find ways to communicate effectively. And I want to stress this, and this goes with the orange color as well, we value creativity and ingenuity. And I really welcome you to go and visit the booths where Doorways to Dream is going to show you the video game they have designed to teach people about that and about also financial concept. Perhaps you didn't think that vampires had to do with financial literacy. They do. And we're going to show you, I think, how effective or how new or perhaps how innovative, how much we have tried to think outside the box in order to promote the teaching of some of these financial concepts. And in one of the projects that you can hear right after these sessions, we are actually using videos and stories to actually teach these, what we think are fundamental concepts of economics and finance, like the power of interest compounding, inflations. We describe them in a very simple way. We put them in the videos, and I really am looking forward to hear your comments about some of our approaches. There are actually a lot more videos. They don't have to do with vampires, but with celebrities, or with Farmville. I am terribly bad at this game. I don't get any score. So, but I really welcome you to play them. They are incredibly engaging. Third, and I think this is really a critical part of all what we do, and maybe what we bring also to this program, is our ability to do an effective evaluation, because we have such a powerful tool, which is the RAND American Life Panel. This is an internet panel designed and set up at RAND by Ari Kaptein, which actually started this initiative at Tilburg University in the Netherlands and then has brought it to the US. It's an extremely rich panel. We have collected a lot of information, from financial knowledge to financial behavior to a lot of insight about people. And because we can ask questions to different groups, we are actually have an incredible capacity, I think, to provide rigorous evaluation using, I think, this really incredible data set. And I welcome you to go and listen to the presentation of this data set after lunch today, where Ari is going to tell you how it can be used to do research, to understand a lot more about behavior, but also to do evaluation. And a lot of the program that we have done have been evaluated via the American Life Panel. So just to give you a little bit of an overview, and again, I'm going to start again with the fact that the project have a variety of topics, but in each of them there is a strong testing and evaluation part, and it is mostly with the American Life Panel, but also with more qualitative work as well, for example, via focus group. And I was very glad to hear that, kind of this type of work has been done throughout all of the centers, and I think it's very important. And I just want to highlight it because it really shows that, we are, in a sense, really open, and we want to, go deep into the field and want to hear what are the barriers of saving to people, what are the problems for planning for retirement. And we are really very eager to learn first, to be able to design programs which are effective. We believe that we need to listen from the individual and from the group that we are interested in and really hear their concerns. And that's why we are so happy we have engaged, for example, Matthew Greenwald, which does such excellent work in the field of focus group. And because I haven't done focus group earlier, I'm actually become a fan of them. I want to sit in every focus group to listen to what people say. I find this the most interesting part of the research we have done. We have done 10 projects in year one. I would say 10 big projects and 4 small projects. They are only small in terms of budget. But they are not small in terms of their intention or their ambitions. We also have what I call quick turnaround proposal, and I'm also going to mention a little bit of them toward the end. The project we have done more or less span the stages of the life cycle. This was very much in the intention of SSA, and in the way we have designed them, we have thought of programs that are important and follow, in a sense, the life stages of individuals, so from the young to the old. And let me just give you an overview of some of the projects we have pursued. So one of the questions, and we have several projects here, is how do we encourage retirement saving for new labor force entrants? And I'm very glad that the team of Bob Clark and Melinda Morrill have taken this project of really looking at financial education in the workplace. I actually think the workplace is an ideal vehicle for doing financial education because this is where people are. They are at work, at least a large part of the population. And also, people have to make financial decisions. So I think it's a really important teachable moment that can be exploited, and in particularly providing financial education to new hires seems to me a really potential, effective, and good way to providing financial education. We are very excited about this project, and I really welcome you to go and see what they have done in this respect. In terms of mid-career, we have been very interested in the questions about how can we encourage the protection of retirement resources for mid-career individuals. We are very keen, for example, on programs like automatic enrollment into pensions. This is a good way to foster a retirement saving. But at the same time, we really also want to know what people are doing with those retirement accounts. And one of the things we have noticed also from the new survey from the National Financial Capability Study that you'll hear this afternoon, that people are borrowing on those accounts. And the study done by Olivia Mitchell and her team will tell you more about what happens to some of those loans. I think this is a really important project as well, given that such a large component of saving is now in the retirement account, in the 401ks. When we move closer to the new retirees, the question we ask is, how do we encourage work and retirement decisions that ensure adequate retirement income? And I have to say, we subject ourselves, perhaps every year, to health checks. Most of us also, check so many things, including the oil in our car, which, by the way, I always forget. But we do all of these things, but how about our financial health? Doesn't that need checkup too? And we are very happy to have a team, a very creative team from Harvard and Ideas 42, who has designed this financial health checkup, and they are implemented this at the credit union. And this is, I think, just such an exciting project, and I really welcome you to see it and to go and hear it tomorrow morning. We actually have a variety of other projects, and I couldn't describe all of them, but I just want to give you some of the title here so you can go and see them. As I mentioned earlier, many of them have to do with these important decisions that people have to make about when to get the Social Security benefit, or how much they know, and how much we can communicate well with them in the Social Security statement. And finally, really important work on the framing and the peer effect in retirement planning, and you'll hear about this from Jeff Brown in the next sessions. Michael has mentioned that a lot of people learn from media. One of the other things we have learned is a lot of people learn from peers. When you ask them who they turn to for financial advice, mostly says family and friends and peers. And so I'm very excited as well of this project that the group at Harvard, Bridget Medrian and David Leibson and James Joyce and John Becheras have done in looking at if you provide information about what people around others do, can this influence behavior? What I love about this is a low-hanging fruit. This could be a really important way in which we might promote behavior just by this clever way of communication, or just by using in a clever way behavioral economics. We have a variety as well of small projects, and a little bit like Wisconsin, we are concerned with the vulnerable populations. The project on the video games are actually addressing that. They are actually targeted, in one case, to low-income women, in other cases to low-income population, but we are also very concerned, for example, with the disabled children. And I really urge you to not only visit the booth outside in the project of Berkhauser and his team, but also in listening to their project, where they are going to show that actually if young people who are currently in disability would actually be able to enter the labor force and work for a few years, their lifetime resources would just be so much better than living a lifetime on disability. So I think this is really a project with so many potentials. And as I was reading through some of the results, I just find that it's so exciting to see how research can really be put in place to inform people, for example, young people on disability. And finally, if you are not aware, Social Security also offers what they call quick turnaround proposal. As the word said, perhaps they are not quick. It still takes a long time, but they are smaller projects, smaller in terms of budget. And we have actually applied to several of those because we had so many exciting ideas. And one of these was actually we have put together a group of mathematicians and economists. Believe it or not, we do work together with other people, and this has been such an interesting and fun project, where we have designed financial literacy module that can be used in college courses, but I would say also more broadly in maybe adult courses or courses at the Human Resources Office. And this is, again, very interactive as well. So it's, I encourage you to come at the session right after this talk this morning, where the group at Dartmouth will tell you a little bit more about what was done in this project. But we had actually several of other of these quick turnaround projects. We have done a lot more focus group on the 5 steps of planning success. We have gone really bold with this focus group. And we have also looked a little bit at these decisions of lump sum payment versus annuity. This is another project of Bob Clark. And again, other initiative concerning Social Security, an alternative way to present estimate of Social Security in the Social Security statement, and Andrew Biggs, which has been certainly an expert in this topic, will tell you more. So just to briefly summarize, we think that our work does replicate the finding that financial mistakes are present and the consequences can be severe, but at the same time, we find that providing information and help at critical moment can really be impactful. And I think our work in this first year demonstrates that financial education and financial intervention can work. We are also already try to think of dissemination and try to think of communications. And I know it's very hard to do marketing. We were very aware of that, but we are very lucky at Dartmouth to have what we think is a top scholar in social marketing. You'll hear about Poonam Keller this afternoon and also tomorrow. She's going to give a big talk about social marketing for financial literacy. We are very happy to work with her. We have learned enormously. And this is actually our new website where we are going to try to target a lot closer and better all these different groups. And we think that financial literacy is like that. Is a trees with fruits. Just to finalize, we have several projects, as I mentioned, in year 1, and we are very happy that most of these projects will continue in year 2, and very grateful to the support of Social Security. This allows us, for example, to look and evaluate the effect of our program to a longer time span and potentially go to a larger scale. And also, we have a lot new projects in year 2. Some are covering, for example, financial advice. Some are covering healthcare at retirement. And we are just so excited to continue our work in year 2. We have a total of 19 projects. And we really look forward to them and to present them next year at the same event. So as evidence that we are draconian, it's 10 o'clock sharp. So I know it's time for coffee. And after that, I'll invite you to go to the beginning of the sessions.